tilapia, so you don't know what's next. Cook it up and make up right. Fresh, so me need it. Tilapia, a real fish. Bring home the best in freshwater fish. High content of vitamin B3, protein, and potassium. Tilapia, simple, healthy, delicious.
The one camping tent. I'm showing why I'm about.
Ended up here over here, son of a lift up now.
Welcome to Flatbridge.
The infamous Dopey Church. I never afraid. If you wash your face with rice water, then you can't see Dopey.
No, me don't want to say Dopey, no.
If I turn the yoke to the left, then the airplane will bank to the left.
Oh, that! Oh, that! Where's my bicycle, dog?
Your safety and security continue to be our priority. We are seeing a downward trend in major crimes, and we are investing $650 million in technology improvement for our police force to provide greater coverage across Jamaica by 2028.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Join the conversation focusing on Jamaica's development. Tune in to the post-cabinet press briefings. Wednesdays live at 9 a.m. with a rebroadcast at 9 p.m. right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.
Jamaica, the land of Bob Marley, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Usain Bolt, and of course, Reggae Month, the only month-long reggae music festival on planet Earth, where something reggae happens every day in the month of February, ranging from mega reggae concerts, reggae award ceremonies, and educational symposia on reggae. February is Reggae Month. Reggae Month is February, when Jamaica invites the world to come to Mecca, Reggae Mecca, and come catch the rhythm like no place else on earth, only in Jamaica.
And that's how I made it, give him the go. Breathe, I'm delighted. Jano say my passion ignited. Got the music, get me excited. I'm coming like a boy.
Reggae Conversations, personal testimonials from reggae personalities who helped to create the music. A conversation with reggae ambassadors who took the music to the world.
For this reggae conversation, we welcome Nadine Sutherland.
Thank you.
How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm blessed. I'm alive. Yes.
Do you find it hard to believe that it's more than 40 years since you were introduced to us in that big way?
Yes, yes. I still pinch myself. Sometimes it's surreal. You know, 45 years you lived. I mean, I'm 57 and I've lived 45 years of my life, which is most of my life, you know, publicly and in the music industry. So sometimes I'm like, what happened? I still sometimes have to like catch myself, but I'm very, very thankful.
Yeah, so you won that tasting contest and against some impressive people. I mean, Yellow Man was part of it, Paul Blake, and you won. You were the first ever winner, and you were just a little girl.
I was just a little girl. Let me not gonna lie to you, say, you know, I wanted to be successful. I never knew I was gonna win. That was not in my head. But you know, I practiced. I told my father I wanted to sing Peter Tosh Buckingham Palace. Never knew it was about weed until after. I was just like, it was funky. I thought I was gonna be like Tina Turner because I was so impressed by, her energy on stage. And, when I see some of those pictures, I was like, yeah. So I went there and I just did it and I won. I was the first winner, and that started my life publicly. But then some people correct me and say, no, you were on Ring Ding with Miss Lou. We saw you.
What was that experience like?
Ring Ding?
Yes.
Like most kids, I come from country and went and do a little song, Miss Marjorie, played the piano, and then Miss Lou, there's a concert here for you and me. Every little kid grew up on Ring Ding and to be on Ring Ding, and then I came on a song, I was like, oh my God, it's just unreal.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Kingston, but I grew most of my life in Above Rocks. Yeah, so that's the roots right now because my parents still live there. I left Waltham Avenue when I was 9, and it has been Above Rocks since, in the hills of, between St. Catherine and St. Andrew.
What sort of environment was your childhood? What sort of childhood was it?
Country, river, mountains, no hills. Community, family, church. I would say Pan-Africanism because my father, before he wore dreads, was very much entrenched in blackness. So that's how I grew. I grew very, my granny ensured me go to Catholic church. I go Seventh-day Adventist with my cousin. I go with Miss Daisy New Testament Church of God. Grew up as a Pan-Africanist, so it's a lot of things that shaped me in terms of who I am. Went to Michael Practicing Knowledge and went to St. Andrew High School for Girls, my Stutch school, So it was a combination of a lot of stuff, did classical music training while I was a reggae singer, did African dance, and then went to Jamaica School of Dance and did ballet and modern dance. So it was a combination of a lot of stuff that grew me and honed me into who I am today.
So what was the household like? How many of you were there? Mom and dad?
Enough.
Grandma?
Enough. Initially, when we went up to Above Rocks, it's mom and dad, my grandmother, my aunts and my uncle, my aunt and my uncle, my cousin, my brothers and my sisters. A lot of us in the house when we started out.
How many siblings?
So I grew up with 5. I know the Jamaican man thing. I know of 3 other sisters. I don't know if there's others, so I'm only kidding. My father will give me a big lick.
What about your own household?
My own household right now? Nieces and nephews. The love of the Lord.
You started your career so early. You were so young. Looking back, do you feel that perhaps you missed out on being a regular, normal little girl?
Yeah, sometimes I think so. I think that people judge you very harshly, and a lot of stuff they judge you and speak about you harshly, and you're a child. So you don't even have the life experience to even process some of the stuff. You take everything personal. Yeah, I think I miss out on a lot of stuff, but I'm grateful. My father never allowed me to go spend weekend with people and la-da-dee, la-da-da, all of that. And now I understand when I think about some of the dark things that are out in the world and, who I was as a child. I never understood fame, but I think the people around me understood fame and what it could attract. I was resentful, growing up and feeling like I couldn't do this, couldn't do that. But when I stepped out in the world and I understood the world, I'm very, very thankful because a lot of things I think was prevented, from happening to me. I believe that I caught up with some of the things that I missed out on. So when I look at it and I can balance it, I'm thankful.
Would it be something you would recommend? Child stars?
No. No. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. But, as I said before, my process wasn't as horrible as for some people, I think I'm relatively okay in my head. I think there was a part in my life that I was naive because I was so protected. What I don't like about child stars is the adults that are around you, the adults that's the public, the adult public, who will criticize you and hurt you, say malicious things, do malicious things to you, and they're not even framing it and say, "Oh, look a picnic." This is a child. So all your venom and your insecurities that you project towards an adult, you project it towards a child. No, a poor child cannot even process that. So I would recommend that you have a sense of self first before you come into a business like the entertainment business. That don't even guarantee it, because people mess up even when they're big people in the entertainment business. But I would prefer that, you know, for me, you reach a level of maturity. I would recommend.
Yeah. You talk about being protected. Who protected you?
My father and my family in general, and Mrs. Marley. A lot of adults in my life were very protective of me and ensured that I had a relatively okay childhood with a lot of protection. And yeah.
Tell us about the relationship with Mrs. Marley and Bob Marley. You were one of Bob Marley's young ones. What was that experience like?
Bob Marley had a vision. You know, Bob went through a lot. He was a very, very kind person. I can attest to that. I remember when I was younger and I used to go to Tufkang and see the line of people up Hope Road waiting, knowing that Bob is there, and him give them little thing for start them business. I witnessed that as a person. He was very, very giving. So in his head also, he had an idea that, you know, he would put in a plan and infrastructure that younger artists could benefit from. And I won Tasty Talent Contest and I benefited from that. I met him. He never loved, I mean, by the time I met him, and I never spent a lot of time with him because he was in and out on tours, but whenever I did, it was a caring, fatherly vibe. I remember the first time when I recorded, he was there ensuring that I was okay. I remember when me and some of his kids, we were driving a van and we met in an accident. It collided and hit a man off his bicycle. He was caring and loving, and all of my experiences with Bob is from a paternal space, asking if I was okay and fine. As we know, he transitioned. Mrs. Marley now she took the helm of Tough Gang and she tried to make it into something. That's when my first album, Nadine, was released. Mrs. Marley was very generous towards me, and I won't forget it. My classical music training was her, who she made her kids, did voice training and piano with Miss Faye Enever. She comes and Nadine, Mr. Sutherland, and that's how she addressed my father with respect. Mr. Sutherland, I want you to drop Nadine there every Tuesday and every Thursday. And I was doing it with Ziggy, Sidella, Stephen, and Sharon. And I was there every Tuesday and Thursday singing the last. Every time I look at Stephen, I laugh, you know, because that's why Stephen, his talent is so broad, because he has all of them. Their talent is so broad because Mrs. Marley ensured that she put a lot in them, you know. So that was it, and she always giving daddy advice. Mr. Sutherland, stay with your daughter. Don't make she drink anything from anyone. My father, I've never forgotten it. And we as a family, we have never forgotten Mrs. Marley in terms of what she invested in me and how she treated me.
That first recording that you did with Bob, did you have a sense of who he was, how big he was?
No. I never had a sense that Bob was a superstar. As a little girl, you know, when I met Bob, you know, when I hold on to all of the memories that I have of him, I never know who Bob was, you know. My father knew, you know. At that time, you know, you just started in St. Andrew High School for girls. You want to be cool? Yeah. I remember when I stood up there in first form, remember, guys? And I said, before I won Tasty, my name is Nadine and I am an amateur singer, and then laugh off of me. And then a couple months later, I win Tasty. So, yeah, you know, for Bob, I was, you know, I was a little girl in my own little world.
Do you sometimes listen to some of those early recordings, such as Starvation on the Land? And
a young one like me?
Yeah, get a sense of how the voice has changed.
Oh, yeah. Starvation on the land, yeah. So if you can help up your
taste has changed. A young one like me, though, I listen to Starvation, but a young one like me, I think the message was so poignant, you know. A young one like me, a young one like me, I want to be happy, I want to be free from rumors and schemers, blasphemers and dreamers of cruelty.
And if all the weapons of war could be dumped in the grave, you see how wonderful that would be to a young one like me.
I think the lyrics are so relevant. Written by Sangy Davis, Starvation also. I think the lyrics are still relevant. So a lot of times I listen to a young one like me, I get a little bit emotional and wish that, you know, when that song was written and you hear, I think how I voice it, you hear hope and aspiration, you know. So it's a beautiful song. And then now you look at the world and it's the same thing, and that makes me sad.
A young one like me.
Cook it up and make we steam it. Fresh so me need it, tilapia a real fish. Cook it up and make we roast it. Farm fresh so me need it, tilapia a real fish. Grow smart at the best part. Food for thought so me have to eat smart. Easy catch, fully net. A tilapia so you don't know what's next. Cook it up and make we fry it. Fresh so me need it, tilapia a real fish. Bring home the best in freshwater fish. High content of vitamin B3, protein and potassium. Tilapia, simple, healthy, delicious.
Reggae is global. Reggae is everywhere.
Yeah, reggae is my life, you know, because I want to reggae ministry, I'm not a work out saying that or something.
We have something which the world craves even right now. Reggae is internationally known.
I am a Jamaican.
Join us as we navigate this interwoven landscape, discovering how every portfolio and agency under the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation play a crucial role in national development, from housing to land. Right. NWC, why I don't have any water in my tap, to infrastructure and investment. So the government is not giving away any assets.
No, Dini.
All right.
Not at all.
Let's unravel the threads of success as we explore the Meg JC matrix.
Me, I go show them my way of justice.
I'm abused.
I need legal advice. I don't deserve this.
The truth of the matter is, justice there for all of we. The Ministry of Justice has trained more than 5,600 persons in restorative justice practices. More than 200,000 victims have been supported by the victim services. Legal aid has reached thousands island-wide. Make we talk it out, not fight it out. Call 888 Justice today.
What motivates Nadine?
I don't know. I think I grow good. I'm very disciplined. I'm always on time. I think being a country woman and having my family with a lot of the value systems of rural Jamaica was put in me. What motivates me, trying to be a better person each day, trying to up myself. I don't really look at other people. It's like, what can you do to make yourself a better person? What can you do to make yourself a better artist? What can you do each day to be a better version of yourself? And I'm motivated by that. So, yeah, that's my motivation. Up in the ante every day.
You also write?
I write, yeah.
What is your process? What is your writing process? How do the lyrics come together?
Like, I have a concept. When I wrote Queen, I had a concept because Marcia Griffiths came to me and said she wanted to do a song with me, and I think of a song that would have been universal for women. So I wrote Queen from the perspective of thinking what women have gone through that people don't understand. As a Bojo Bantan say, them see the glamour and them glitter and them think a better rose, but who feels it knows? So I thought about Queen, and I'm like, a lot of people don't know the backstory. Them see the success story, but they don't know the backstory. So I wrote, the concept of Queen came to me, and I wrote a song from that paradigm.
Queen, they now see your crown. They don't know half what went down. You earned every diamond on your head. Queen, how many times they made you doubt what you are all about? Made you second guess to think you're less.
unfortunately, it never ended up being a duet. It ended up being a solo. So my inspiration, I always think about the world and try to think about it from a universal perspective. But sometimes you can be lost in your own zone and you think about art from you. But then you're like, the human experience is so universal. A lot of people suffer. A lot of people go through stuff. So sometimes I even think about you, but I try to make it, you know, so when me go through, where other woman, other man, because I don't want to isolate anybody go through. When I wrote Triumphant, I came from that paradigm. We're not staying down, we're not go down. And there's my favorite line in Triumphant is, shut up your mouth, the enemy thoughts in my mind.
Shut up your mouth. The enemy thoughts in my mind will make me feel like dead and me no worth your want.
So the enemy thoughts of self-doubt, the enemy thoughts of shame, the enemy thoughts of lack of confidence. Shut up your mouth, the enemy thoughts in my mind that make me feel like, say, me no worth your time. Shut up your mouth, the enemy of another kind, the one them with them negative vibes from outside. The universal story of us as humans is that we struggle, the duality of you, what was put in your head. Because we live in this world that feeds you that you don't think you can conquer and be who you really are, and that enemy thoughts outside. So I'm always thinking that was my struggle and it's still my struggle, but I know that people can identify with it. So when I write my songs, I write from that paradigm, me, but universal.
How do you choose which songs you would record versus I'm going to pass on this one?
One, I think that will resonate on a level that somebody will listen to it and be inspired. And you don't even know what you're doing. You know, it's the funniest thing when I wrote Triumphant and I never knew, and it was such a story for me that one of my friends called me and there was a lady that was struggling with stage 4 cancer, and her song each morning that she listened to get through her day was Triumphant. That meant so much to me, you know? No, I'm not gonna be tearing up.
Right, yes, but no, nothing not go worry, cause we triumphant, because we not stay down, we not go down, stop going like we are conquer, we triumphant, because today we not go quit, we properly lead it, once there is life it can't fail. Shut up your mouth.
But that meant so much to me. You know, that you say, oh my God, there's a song, when it happen in a year can happen in a day. No matter what life can bring, the game of life can change. And a man wrote me on Instagram who just lost his son. You've got what it takes. And he was like, this is a song my wife and I listened to when our son died. So you don't even know when you're making these songs and people are listening to it and holding on. There's a song people are holding on to help them to get through their day. That's the power of music, or get their challenging times. Or sometimes I go to New York and one woman look for me and point and say, yo, enough of my baby them born because of you, Nadine Sutherland. So the human experience. You try to make sure your art is just not flippant, you know. Yeah.
This came to my mind, Wicked
I'm
Dicky.
gonna fix up myself.
What's the story behind that?
You mean Wicked and Wild? Wicked. Well, I had my song, Wicked and Wild. It was a nice, beautiful, tame song, and Buju Banton did Dicky Dicky. Behind my back, Donovan German went and morphed it, and it became Wicked Dicky. I found out in a way that is so hilarious. Whenever I thought this story is so funny, I was in London, I went into a record store. Them time that was record store, and a man congratulate me on my #1 song with Buju Banton. I'm like, man, I have no #1 song. I don't do a song with Buju. And he's like, yes, you did. I was like, no, I didn't. And he's like, yes, you did. I'm like, no, I didn't. The man started, I'll get wrinkled. I said, I have no song with Buju. I said, I play the song with Buju. So when I heard the song and I hear, ooh, wah, ooh, wah, ooh, wah, ooh, wah, and I hear Buju's lovely, gravelly voice.
Nadine!
That's how I found out. Oh my goodness. But listen, it did so well for both of us, and I'm very, very thankful.
Action.
Not a bag about.
Sweet. Now we make the girl them broke out. Action. Not a bag about. Sweet. Now we make the girl them broke out.
What was the inspiration for that one?
Oh, I didn't write Action. It was Dave Kelly Meadows. It was, the story of Action is very incredible. I auditioned to be the lead singer for Soul to Soul, got the part. Hello, I was gonna be the next Karen Wheel. Okay, guys, you don't know about my history. But then the manager, them hate each other. Hate is an understatement, and cuss. Couldn't come to a deal. And then I came back to Jamaica and started doing demos. Action was one of the demos that I did. You know, Erskine Thompson was managing me, and he was like, I think right now, you know, Shabba start lick out, and, you know, a lot of dancehall was just blowing up, you know. And he said, this is the direction that you should do. And we did a demo for, Action was a demo. Dave released it the December as a song in the dancehall, mash up Jamaican dancehall. Then it creeped over to the ethnic market. In the same time, Terra Fabulous was signed to East West Electra. So when it became an ethnic hit now, and, you know, I started performing it in the States. Karen Wheeler from East West saw me, and she, you know, she was what they call, they were watching me, East West Electra. Then by the summer, Action was released. Terror did his first song. The first song was, oh, show me una hand, and then Action. So the dancing part of Action, all of the dancing, which I cut out a lot of it, was my responsibility, because them in a dance now, they're school of dance and dance with Tony Wilson and a dance, do ballet and all kind of African dance, modern dance. So I took on the responsibility of the whole dance segment, and did a choreography with a young man called Kofi Dunbar that used to, I think he used to dance at school of dance. Then the video was released, and Action is history. Yeah. Dancehall history, reggae history, Jamaican music history, and I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Action.
And it's closely identified with you. I mean, people think of
a
you.
lot. It's the Nadine Action Sutherland. It's like, oh my God, action. Sometimes I'm lost in action. It's like, you know, there are other music you can listen to. I'm actually a good songwriter, but action, and they love the action on stage, so.
And you did a special recording of Action for Kamala Harris?
Yes. They came to me and they asked me to support her in her vice presidential bid. And I said yes, because, you know, at that stage, you know, half of my family live in America and half of it are young girls. And I felt like as a Caribbean woman, I wanted to endorse somebody that come from my roots, Jamaica. And I said, yes, I will do it, because I wanted that. I wanted to see a woman vice president, but a woman of color, of Jamaican descent, because I'm very supportive of my people in anything that they're doing. Me will come 100% and support, yes. Yeah. And Action became a song. Kamala coming with the action. She clean. This man actually thought it was about hygiene. She clean. I had to explain to him. I was like, no. Jamaican woman, when them things say act nice and think that, don't look and say, my girl, you're clean. I said, that's what it meant. And I ensured there's a book that they wrote about Kamala, and they mentioned me. And I said, when you don't do the book, you know, but one specifically, make you understand what clean mean is not about hygiene. Clean means us Jamaican woman giving you the highest compliment. Street woman, yes, Nadine, you look clean. So I made sure they understood that.
Join us as we navigate this interwoven landscape, discovering how every portfolio and agency under the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation play a crucial role in national development, from housing to land. Right. NWC, why I don't have any water in my tap, to infrastructure and investment. So the government is not giving away any assets.
No, Dini.
All right.
Not at all.
Let's unravel the threads of success as we explore the Meg JC matrix.
na 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 na. We want a peace for Jamaica. Yeah, yeah. We have to be our brother's keeper. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life. Want we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good. I better you and I. No say we future bright. Jamaica live good. Come together as one. I make the violence the world.
So me just want to tell them, say, Simmer, who got the keys to the bimmer? Oh my, real reggae lover, Zaga.
I'm not allowed to speak for myself. They make all the decisions.
I'm not allowed to go anywhere by myself. They're afraid I'll escape.
See how my hand and face bruise up? Them beat me because me say me tired.
I'm only 13, but they said if I work harder, they will allow me to go home.
Me no have no birth paper, no ID. Them take all of my documents, them.
Victims of human trafficking are all around us and they need our help. Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. If you see something, say something. Report suspected cases of human trafficking. Call the nearest police station, 119 or 888, protect.
Motorists, as Minister of Justice, I appeal to you, obey the road code, pay your ticket on time, and only go to court if the ticket is being contested. Close to 80% of matters coming to the parish courts are for traffic breaches. Let's work together to make our roads safe and ease the burden on our courts.
You have been featured on some very iconic collaborations. You mentioned the Terror Action. There was the Snow as well.
Buzzure, Terror, then you know now. You said you'd do anything for me. Whatever borrow would you do?
Anything for you, yeah. Which is 30 years. This
Wow.
year is 30 years that song, and it's still being played, still mashing upstairs show, still, it's generation, you know, still played with young people, still played with older people, and I'm very proud.
Whoa, whoa.
That's become like a classic.
Yeah.
A dancehall classic.
What makes for a good collaboration?
You know, some I know, I just did do them. I never really think about anything, you know. It's the funniest thing. I just did them, and, you know, they just became what they became. But I made sure, one thing with me, everybody know that I'm a stickler that every note have to be on point, performance have to be on point, rhythm have to ride good. Anything that I do, it have to be of a certain quality. And that is how I live my life. That is my mindset. If I'm coming in and I'm doing anything and if it not sound good, some people find me annoying, I'll go over it 20 times and sing it 20 times. It is good, me sort of know it not good. And then after them build aside a release, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this woman is crazy. But when you listen to my recordings, you will see a certain standard. So, and then people become, you know, they expect it. They expect it. Right now, nobody no quarrel with me. We're going to the studio, the end. Just like she's coming. You know, she's there already, you know. I forgot to go over the thing time until she gets it perfect. And she go hear every bad note. And she said the note they're wrong. And we not going to hear it. And then after she plays, and so I tell her, say sharp. So everybody come to expect that from me. And I'm fine. I have standards. And the standards are, I think, what has sustained me. Through, you know, 45 years celebrating in the music industry.
Do you enjoy performing?
Very much
Going on
so.
tour?
Very much so. I love performing. I love winding up myself. I love dancing. I love it. I love it. I love getting into character. If you know me, sometimes I think I'm underwhelming. Like people meet me and I'm like, hi, how you doing? And I can't be quiet. And then I go on stage and I start the music busting on my head, and I really enjoy being on stage. I'm not gonna lie to you, I love it.
What's your favorite part of touring?
Being on stage.
Oh, yes, yes, 'cause this is for my baby.
And sometimes, you can develop camaraderie, because I think even like with Pam Hall and myself, we got pretty close touring together and we became friends. Sometimes you have lasting friendship, because when you go on the road, is you and the people them sustaining each other,
What have been some of the most memorable experiences on tour?
I always love Japan. I love Japan. I don't know why. I haven't toured Japan in a while, but I love Japan. I loved everything that I saw in Japan. I loved walking the street of Japan. I remember learning about the Yakuzas, and I was with the Japanese. I'm going, Yakuza, which is Japanese mafia. And then I think I saw a geisha. I was coming on one of the hotels, and the lady with the pale face, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a geisha. That's a geisha. And then when I went to like some of their iconic sites, like the temples, and they're so beautiful, and you're like lost in time, because they're like how many years and all that. I find Japan very fascinating, very, very fascinating.
Tell us about the music, the performance experience in Japan that made it so memorable.
No, sir, they love reggae music more than everybody else. May I tell you? And then sometimes I remember performing, like you do some small shows and then the big shows, one in Osaka and one in Tokyo. OMG. When the top, when it just come in, you have the whole team. People jump into the mix. Cha, 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 and everybody cha. Oh my goodness. The Japanese fans are unreal. Are unreal.
I'm the one camping tent. I'm showing why I'm about.
End up here over here, son of a lift up now.
Welcome to Flatbridge. The infamous Dopey Church. I'm never afraid. If you wash your face with rice water, then you can't see Dopey.
No, me don't want to say Dopey, no.
If I turn the yoke to the left, then the airplane will bank to the left.
Oh, that! Oh, that! Where's my bicycle, dog?
We want a piece for Jamaica.
Yo, what are you? Oh, man, none of that. Yo, no, brother, no, I'm not sure that.
You see you ever play ref? Dirty game,
yeah,
man,
but
play.
I like a bad game. No, I said, Pierce, when you come from, brother, I want to live good, man. I want to live good, brethren. No shake hand, I can play like a bad, brethren.
Really have to shake hand?
Yeah, man, and no badness, brethren. Just live good, man.
Come together as one and make the violence done. Do you love reggae music? Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes. If you love reggae music, I want to hear everybody say, oh God. Oh yo. Oh yo.
Are you an entrepreneur producing an excellent Jamaican product or service? Did you know you can earn hard currency and more significant returns by exporting? Contact the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce to help propel your business along the export lane.
Everything you can produce, the Jamaicans overseas want it. We're not going to get rich by just bringing down the debt. We're going to get rich by exporting a lot more. So grow exports, create job opportunities, drive economic growth through exports to make Jamaica a richer and much more prosperous country.
Do you have favorites of your own music?
People always ask me that, and my answer is like, just think, say you have 10 picnic and you say your favorite one. No, I don't. All of the work, the art, let me get art, the artistic works. I like it, children, you know. You write a song and it comes through you, and then you go there and the world see it, and the world hear it, and the world know it, and you just like, it's like you have a child, and after a while you just have to let go of the child, so the child just can, you know, do what it have to do.
Do you have a sense of how big you are?
People say no. I have no idea. I don't even want to think that way, because guess what? I won't be motivated to be the artist and the person that I am. I would never want to take it for granted. I would never want to take my rehearsals for granted, my performances for granted, that when I go there, it look easy, but it's a lot of work. I still do dance classes. I want to start back my piano, because I'm like, I'm always wanting and aspiring to take my singing to another level, what I can do to make my stage performances better. And I don't want to get complacent. So I have to even worry about that, because I don't want to get complacent. I want to be an artist that is always having creative ideas. I think when I did Jam Rock, we were so proud of ourselves, me and the two girls have a little choreography with anything for you. Dun, 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 dun. Although I get nervous and miss the last part, and I spin around and we put in the opera thing, and you know. I hope that this year I can take my performance to a different level, so I don't even want to think about that.
You've completed a master's in cultural studies.
A couple years ago, yeah.
Why?
Why is I always wanted to go back to school, you know. I have a love for academia. My cousin Michelle thinks I'm the biggest nerd ever. She's like, she tell everybody that I love to study, which I do. I like to learn. Dr. Sandra Nair came to me, and she invited me to do a master's. I went, and whatever I had to do was successful, and I just saw it through. I liked what I did with my thesis. It was very, very, you know, compelling, and it kept me intrigued, although the first time I present the paper, Dr. Ray Hitchens, I'm a friend, you know, but the first time, geez, I'm really look on the paper and I'm just fling it back. This is not good enough. Another year. I worked hard for 1 year and I really look on the paper, which it was not. He was completely and utterly right. When Ray take it up and give me the work that I had to do to take it to another level, Dr. Hitchens was so right. But then when I presented, because you know, your immaturity, you do so much work, and he was like, this not gonna even get you one D. And he was right. And I worked so hard, had the support of Dr. Waller, who, you know, gave me some good instructions. Marjorie Wiley was so, I don't even want to call the people who was there that was giving me, you know, historical perspective and all of that, and worked hard and put it in. When Ray read it, it's like, it's ready. And Ray was so detailed. I really worked hard on that thesis, like everybody else worked hard on their thesis to make it, you know, into what it is, and submitted it.
So what was your thesis about?
Let me try to remember. What hegemony displayed, the disillusion of hegemony displayed in popular vocal music style, something like that, some highfalutin thing, but I didn't get it.
Which means?
We showed how, as we progressed as Jamaicans and grab our own culture, you could hear it in the vocal styles of popular music. of how people sang, of how people DJed. When back in the days, when people them a try to be very English, oh my God. And then you hear it changing as we change as a nation and start grabbing our identity. You hear it in the popular music vocal style. So I had to academically show that. And it took everything who I was. My musical background, my classical musical background, my dancehall, my reggae musical background. It took everything of who I am, but it had to be an academic paper. I could just like sit down and think about it, but then to write it as an academic paper, which I did. Which I did, yes.
Which you did. If you weren't doing music, what do you think you would be doing?
You know, sir, performing arts. I was a performing arts director. I got a job as a performing arts director. That's another story. When me think say music, I'm like, yeah, that's not done with me. I'm like, yeah, music is done with me. At least me get to a master's and I got a job. And I really enjoyed it. It grew me as an artist because I had to oversee drama, I had to oversee dance, and I had to oversee music. And I really enjoyed, you know, everything who I was as all my experiences. I could hone and grow younger versions of myself, and it was very beneficial. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed teaching the kids. I enjoyed, you know, I got Alvin Ailey in the school. Alvin Ailey have a teaching part. I got it in the school. I saw all these kids growing in their artistry. Kids that were going into, you know, going to, what you call it, audition for drama parts. I had to study their monologues, understand it, and teach them. And I had to direct people to, yeah, I enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed it.
That was overseas?
That was in New York, yes.
Jamaica, I can help you protect our citizens.
Jamaica Eye will play a part in increasing your public safety.
Jamaica Eye is part of an island-wide network of camera surveillance systems designed to increase the safety of you, our citizens. If you have a camera system outside your home or office facing a public space, log on to jamaicaeye.gov.jm today. Jamaica Eye, we're all connected. The Ministry of National Security, creating a safer and prosperous Jamaica.
Do your part to prevent mosquito breeding. Mosquitoes will breed in any container that holds water.
Tightly cover water storage containers such as drums, barrels, buckets, and tanks. If this cannot be done, pour cooking oil on the water surface. Punch holes in all tins, plastics, and beverage boxes to prevent the collection of water before disposal. Cover all tires or fill with dirt to prevent water collection. Scrub all vases once per week to remove mosquito eggs. Use mosquito repellents to protect yourself from mosquito bites. Dispose of garbage properly by placing in plastic bags and securing properly to prevent water collection.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
I think that you need more work for this competition. You really have a lot of passion. Your voice is so strong. That was brilliant, my girl.
You could become one of the leading vocalists in Jamaica.
Tonight, I saw it, creativity to full blast. That was excellent.
What is your engagement, interaction with younger artists?
So, you know, I try to engage with them and try to, but some of them are not gonna lie to you. Them is a little bit arrogant, and yeah. But those who are accessible, those who want to hear, I would say something. You don't have to take it, because my ego may not have no ego. Me don't want nobody say, you know, you sit down and it's like, oh my God, I'm inspiring to younger artists. That is ego. That is me wanting to be gratified. I will say something. If they want to take it, they'll take it. You know, everybody have their own unique journey that they have to go on. Me did have my own unique journey.
Take us through your career, the highlights, what, you know, the major achievements.
There are a lot of major achievements. Every day, I am thankful that I'm here. I think one of the most major achievements is right now that I'm living 45 years of being in the music industry. I think that's a major achievement. So I'll keep it at that, you know.
Nadine, action, Sutherland, take it away.
We have so many things in common, yet we are two different people. We just love being around each other, yet we give each other space to grow. Step by step, we are getting stronger.
A lot of things could have gone wrong. A lot of things, you know, I thought went wrong, and I thought that it was over. And then I always have a thing that says, music chose me. Music chose me. And, you know, sometimes just like acquiesced, I said, this is my destiny. Because one time I never believed it was I was like, all right, it's done, finished. And I was so okay with it. I was so okay with the thought that probably this is it. So 45 years after, just receiving an OD, you know, and all of that. These are the high points because it didn't have to go so. It never did have to go so at all. Never did have to go so. So I have to be very, very thankful in the moment and thank God that I'm still here.
At what point did you feel that it was over?
Enough time.
What
No,
happened?
not enough time. When they were rumoring me that I was on drugs, I thought it was over. I was like, okay, everybody think that, you know, I'm like walking in half a tree or whatsoever. That was a point. I was like, it's finished. Never finished them. But then when I got older and I said to myself, a lot of people, the ageism that exists in the world, not only in the music industry. And you know, people like to tell you that sometime right now, I don't even listen to people, I listen to my spirit. They like to tell you, it is over, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, it probably is. You know, I was like, it probably is. Because they were limiting me because of their limited belief system. Them about woman, them about this, that, artist and taranat. I'm a defiance to a lot of people, you know. I'm defying people. And then the funniest thing, music was like, no, it's not over. Things I made for years ago. I remember with Chatty Chatty, that song Chatty Chatty that I did. I did it when I was in UE. And I wasn't thinking of anything. And then by the time I think it was COVID, them released it, and I'm like, oh my God. And all these songs that I did in my blood at London with Professor, them released it.
In my blood, Bob Marley, in my blood, in my blood, in my blood, not me go there, pum pum, in my blood, in my blood.
All parts of the world, Africa and Europe, are calling me for interview. I'm like, what? And I'm doing all of these things with a career that I thought was over, and it just like started blossoming. I started performing more regularly, and every performance, I was like, oh my God.
I'm in love, I'm in love. I can see the rainbow. I'm Lady Mary tomorrow. Princess, take it slow. They say I'm in love with a stranger. I can see the rainbow. I'm Lady Mary tomorrow.
The audience and me, we have our own rhythm, and I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm like, I'm a defiance to you all. Do not limit people. Do not limit your child. Do not limit and put your mouth of, you know, put things on people with your mouths, man. It's horrible and it's terrible.
You mentioned the OD. How does it make you feel?
You know, I was elated. My family, my cousins and my sister decided that they're going to put in, you know, advocate for me. But then another set of people decided were advocating for me. And then there were strangers on the streets who came to me and told me that they advocated for me because they believed I deserve it, which was so nice, you know, after. And how I felt, I was really, really elated and honored. And I was a little bit nervous. I know Jamaican people, they're out in a giant church, you know. I heard nobody or no one question it. The worst thing I heard about my OD was that she deserved it from a long time. So I breathed a sigh of relief. I'm very, very thankful that my parents were there, that they started with me 45 years ago, that they saw me walk on that stage. My auntie was there that grew me, Auntie Eula, Uncle Roy, all the people that grew me. It's only one person, my Aunt Marie, didn't see that because she transitioned a year ago, but most of the people that was with me when I started, they were able to witness it, and that to me was my proudest moment, because everything that they invested in me as a child, they could see it flower to that, you know, to that, the national honor. I'm really, really proud. It would be very, very, I lie when I say I am humbled. I am humbled after, but initially, anybody with them interview and like, I'm so humble. No, I did feel glad. I did glad and feel proud. Elated.
What do we have wrong about you? What don't we really know?
You know, I think my life is an open book. Some of them know my life more than me know it. Jeez, I don't really have anything that is hidden. You see me on stage and I might be, I guess for some people it's exciting, but me as a person, you know, I tend to be very disciplined, very straightforward, very, you know, I try to live my life from a perspective that I just like invest good energies in the universe that will come back to me. Yeah. You know, I'm deeply in my spirituality. A lot of people probably don't know that, but if you know me, people know that I'm deeply into my spirituality and deeply into walking this world and just walking with good energies and just emitting good energies to those around me. And, you know, yeah. But if you trouble me, you know what I mean?
Is there anything in music that you haven't done yet that you're anxious to get done?
No, because music sometimes dictates where it takes you. I used to sit down and be like, I want to win a Grammy, I want to do this and one of that. If it takes me there, you know, sometimes when you look at the grand scheme of my life and the long term and the work, and you see over time what you have built, and you probably had, like a lot of people have short-term goals because they see the glamour and the glitter. They think a better rose. I want this and I want to be signed to a record company. I prayed for that. But what did the record company do? The whole reggae thing was dropped, you know? So I'm just like, I want music to lead me. I want my talent to be paid for the work and my talent that I put in. But in terms of grandiose expectations, I just want it to lead to where it's supposed to go.
So what's next for you then?
What's next for me? Performing, singing, going back to piano classes, going back to dance classes. Sometimes I'm thinking of the PhD, like go and do a PhD, but then sometimes when I look at the work and then being that my music, I've gotten so much more busy and I love, you know, my life on stage. So that is something that I'm still grappling with, whether I should go and move it from the master's to the PhD, so who knows?
What's your perspective on the health of reggae across the world?
We have the talent here to conquer the world. We probably need to look at some of the bad habits that we created that sometimes is working against us, and we have to look at it very, very honestly. We are such an incredible set of people, you know. We are the talent that lives here. Jamaica is this incredibly magical place. We're magical people, but sometimes we have to self-check. And I think that's where we are right now in terms of our music is to do some serious self-evaluation and self-check to see how we're going to move forward.
Nadine Sutherland, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
9 out of 10 times I'm in love with you. We make it work, that's what we try to do. Never cut when things get rough, even when we said that we had enough. Committed to loving you. 9 out of 10, there's no doubt you're made for my soul. From I laid my eyes on you, I had to grow. We passed the stage of infatuation and an everyday adoration. Just bring your wounds and I will bring my scars. We are come from far. We decided we will stick it through the good times and where we sang the
Apply to the Heart NSTA Trust. Learn a new skill and expand your horizons. Your government has made it completely free to you.
Can you imagine getting a marketable skill for free? Your government has made it possible for anyone wanting to learn a skill